What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it, lay the smack down, the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and a message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Punchy.tv. And at any point during the show, you can call in 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773. And we can get into whatever you want, whatever's on your mind, soul, heart, and spirit. You can let it out. We can get into it. And if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV or go directly to the YouTube live chat. Hit the super chat button, send your question or comments there. I'll read them live on air. Live on air. What's going on, y'all? Happy Wednesday. Wednesday is what? What does that mean? What is today? Today is Relationships Wednesdays. Some of y'all, this your favorite themed episode of the week. It's probably my second favorite. Okay? I love Relationships Wednesday because it's like not too deep, not too crazy, but just enough. You know what I mean? And everybody looking for love. Come on. Everybody looking for love. And the alpha bros who say they not, they lying. Come on. Come on, let's be real. But anyway, today is Wednesday and we're getting into some stuff. All right. A little warm up, a little something light to start. And then we'll get into what we got going on today. Man, I got some stuff I want to share with you guys today. I got some clips, clip-filled show today. We're going to get into some stuff. First thing, I figured out the recipe to the school shooter. The recipe to school shooters, I figured out. And what I mean by that is that, like, what causes it? What causes a school shooter to shoot a school? What causes his mind to break? What causes the mental breakdown and what allows one to go out of control? What causes it? I think I figured it out. And this is just what I'm going to start the show off with, a little clip for y'all. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory. This is from Instagram. Here we go. That's it. That right, simple. Simply put, straight up right there. Right? That's it. That's it. And that's what we see the most today. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Okay? Because as you notice, what we're seeing here is we're seeing, hold on. Hold up. We're going to try something. What we're seeing here is the man was given one duty. Hold on. The man was given one duty. And the woman was given one duty. All right? Look, boom. So the man was given one duty. The woman was given one duty, right? The man was given work. And the woman was given family if there's children, right? And what end up happening is the modern women today, they want to do all of it, right? Now, man is just doing his one thing. Did you know, have you guys noticed that nothing has changed for the man? The man is still doing work. He's still working, right? He's still working. Well, I guess some stay at home dads now. But he's working. He's doing the same thing. But the women have a full load. And if people want to do this, you have the right to do it. That's what you want to do. You have the right to do it. And also, sometimes people are in certain situations, circumstances that, of course, there's always exceptions to the rule to where they have no other choice but to do this. And that's just their reality temporarily, right? But even so, they recognize that this is just not sustainable, right? Work, family, and children, the woman's carrying, right? And then what happens is that the women go home. The women go home, and then they're tick. They're tick, right? And they're like, "Can you help me? I need help. I need you to help me do this and this and that." And then I used to think that, like, well, you're only tick because your plate is too heavy. But I realized that no, there's also the ladies enjoy complaining about it as well, right? Doing it all and also complaining about it is a thrill. It's fulfillment. It's satisfaction. And it's just the ego. It's just the ego. And getting into my conversation today, my topics today is the actual design of men and women, and what I believe the actual design of men and women is, because it's very different. Men are designed to do one thing, women are designed to do another thing, in my opinion. That's my belief. You're allowed to have your own. You're also allowed to disagree with mine, and I'm allowed to disagree with yours, okay? And it don't have to be personal. But I believe that men and women are designed two different ways. And because of that, and what I mean by design, I mean like that's how God created it. And when we discover that is when we actually live in harmony, live in peace. Because we discovered how we were designed and the duties that make most sense for the way we are created. And I want to break down what that means, but before I do, I have a few clips from there's this show called Jubilee, this channel called Jubilee on YouTube, and they usually do like one group of people versus another group of people, and they kind of battle their ideologies. And this one happened to be trad wives versus feminists, right? And across the board, I realized, across the board, the trad wives, yeah, they say some smart things and they see, the truth a little bit in there. But in all reality, the real issue across the globe, period, for men and women is that spiritual understanding is taken out completely. That's really the issue, is that the kingdom thinking and kingdom operating is non-existent and not really understood or even seen or practiced. It's only practiced by a very small amount of people, and they're spread out amongst the world, and you rarely see them because they rarely have they don't have a real desire to be in the public eye. So it's rare that you see them. But that way of thinking and living, that spiritual understanding, right? Really knowing God and understanding his ways in his life is when you really start to properly know how to operate in life and find peace and joy and great families and overcome, right? But that's just not being seen today. So what's happening, we're debating because everyone's just debating ideologies opposed to, what's really going on. Because you can't convince somebody of anything. But anyway, the point is the understanding is taken out. But nonetheless, I still think some good points were made here, but with the feminist and the trad wise, I think there was a few good points made on both sides that I want to break down and kind of shave out. Okay, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna get to the bottom of how men and women are designed. All right. Mark says we overthink what's natural. That's very true. That is very true. This one here, Jubilee, first clip. Feminist rejects the notion of a hierarchy as modern women today are outperforming men. Here we go.
Do you believe that then the wife should lead the family?
No, I think that I agree with her that it's a partnership, that a man should never be thought of as the final decision, as that how he is suddenly able to lead and know everything and know all, and then she is just here to, I don't know, serve and sit by.
We believe people should be looked at as individuals and not based on their gender. So there could be areas of expertise that my partner is better equipped for, and there are areas of expertise I am better equipped for. Right. And to your earlier point, it's like women didn't have advantages for so long, and now we're seeing this shift where boys need our help, because as soon as you let women into education, we started surpassing them, and our wages have gone up and up and up.
Let women into education, could you clarify that? No,
I'm saying as soon as we started pushing for women to get into STEM, and we started doing this push to get women educated, we not only met the same standard that men were operating at, we exceeded it, and now women are outperforming men in almost all exams.
I don't think people should do anything. I think people can do anything. I don't think there should be any societal expectation on any person, man or woman. I think that you can go and do whatever you want, and I can go and do whatever I want. And I don't think you should tell me what I should do, and I should tell you what you should do.
Okay, so many things there to unpack. We're going to start with the black girl, then we're going to go to the Mexican girl, and then we're going to go to the white girl. Okay, black girl said that she believes in equality, right? Men and women should be together, right? And work together and do things together, that it doesn't make sense to her that the man should be over the woman and that he just automatically gets to lead and blah, 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 and the woman just has to serve. For one, she's been brainwashed to believe that that's the reality, because that's not the reality. Now, can you blame her? Because typically that's how Christians behave. Can you blame her that typically that's how red pill people behave? To where they make it, that's the example that's set. Can you blame her because when she looks left and right, that's what she's seeing? You blame her, but that's a brainwashing. Because the woman is, her job is, a man's job is not to lead and the woman's job just to serve, right? It's more to that. The man was given a duty, the woman is given a duty, right? What is duty? Duty is the same across the board. Not what they're doing is the same, but duty is the same. If I have a duty and she has a duty, doesn't that make us equal? That makes us equal. I have a duty and you have a duty. That in itself makes us equal. Now, we have different duties, right? Different jobs that we do that play to our strengths by way of our design. And because of that is how it works in perfect harmony. And also, if we both have a duty and we both are equally important because we both have a duty, then my job is not better than yours, your job is not better than mine. So that's obviously a thing that's a common understanding of how relationships work. But part of it is well, anyways, we'll say that for another day because I got so many clips I want to show you. I don't want to get too carried away. But that's the black lady. The Mexican lady, what did she say? The Mexican one said, Lord, they said so much. The Mexican one said that women are outperforming men today, right? So how is that the men are supposed to lead? How is it that men are the ones doing these jobs? No, look, women can do them too. Women are doing them and they're doing them better than men. And she's not wrong about that either. But here's the thing that she's not understanding is, for one, you can train a monkey to play basketball. And no offense to black basketball people or anybody, right? You could train a monkey to play football. You could train people to do things, right? And they can be really good at it, right? There's female fighters who just go out there and fight, and they can probably knock most men out, right? But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be some type of emotional or mental effect on them as they do it. Yeah, you can do it, and yeah, you're trained very well to do it, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be any consequences to what you're doing. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to handle those consequences as equal as the man may. You know what I mean? So, yes, women are outperforming men right now. Probably. That's probably, I don't really even know if that's a full reality, but typically women are doing these, are in these positions, and they're getting by. And in some cases making more money than men, for sure. But that doesn't mean that they're actually winning. Now, I'm talking about internally. So there's that. The last woman, the white woman, she said what? I don't forgot what she said. They was all saying some mess. Nah. The last woman said something about, Lord, I forgot. But it's all good, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on through these clips and we'll come back to her, because I got some more feminist stuff for you. Is Tradwife speaks on how dangerous feminism is for women. Here we go.
Where I see the breakdown and where I would disagree is the introduction of contraception, abortion, this sexual revolution that really, for me, I feel like we're on the right path, right? Feminists, we have freedoms now that people didn't have. But the over-medication, I'm like, the fact and introduction of birth control, what it does to our hormones, what it does to our mental health is not better off. What abortion does to a woman mentally, physically, emotionally is not leaving women better off. So did I think that the feminists were on the right track? Yes. Did I think this free sex, I can go on and live like a man and take all the responsibility and assume all the risk? I don't actually think that left women better off. I think modern day feminism is pretty dangerous for women.
So what she's speaking on is what I was just mentioning right now, is that, like, there's a consequence to it, right? There's a consequence to it that most people aren't recognizing or even caring to recognize, partly because when you're young, you get away with things, right? You can have all you want and get away with it. But in the end, as things start to settle, as the dust settles, if you're not operating as you should be, then you're going to find that your life is going to decline in all kinds of ways. Physically, mentally, spiritually. You know what I mean? So I think young women who are feminists get away with a lot of this stuff is because they're they're like they're exploiting their youthful energy and getting away with it. But eventually that runs out as well. But the point that, and Harmony reminded me here in chat, that the last woman was saying that they should be able to, women should be able to do what they want, right? They should have the freedom to do exactly as they please and exactly as they want. I also agree with that, right? I also agree with that, because I do think that in most cases, I can't say in all cases that women should have the exact freedoms that men do. I'm not saying that in all cases, right? Because no. But I do think that to some degree, women should have the same rights. The reason why is because I realize that in people having the freedom to do what they want, is when, for one, they will see for themselves the result, right? And in that freedom, when you go down the path that doesn't bring the most benefit, then what happens? There's suffering that comes. In that suffering is when people wake up and they can see. So I'm not totally against women doing what they want to do, right? I don't have to agree with it. We don't have to hold hands and skip. We don't have to hang out. But I'm not necessarily against women doing exactly what they want to do, because in that is when they'll be able to learn and see for themselves their own behavior. And if they don't learn from their behavior, and this goes for all people, if we don't learn from our behavior, then there's one place that has a room and a bed waiting for us. You know what I mean? And they got a name written all over it, right for us, waiting for us if we don't turn around and repent. So the point is, people should be able to do exactly as they want. All right? But when it does come to women being sexually free like they are today, this lady is correct about that, is that there is consequences that are going to come from that. You know what I mean? And then, Lord have mercy. And then we have another one here. Trad wife speaks on the differences of design in men and women. Here we go.
Well, feminism, the typical definition is social, political, and economic equality between the sexes. I don't think anything in that definition is saying we should overthrow the family or that we don't believe in loving marriages or partnerships. But when you say these biological differences between men and women make men better suited to be a leader, which ones? And where's like your basis for that?
Men are larger, they're stronger. Hormonally, men produce more vasopressin, which is the hormone that makes them better protectors and providers. They're able to just respond better to threats, whereas women produce more oxytocin. We're smaller, we're more vulnerable, we're the fairer sex. The oxytocin is a trust and bonding hormone that we're supposed to use to take care of those weaker than us, like children, like the sick, the poor, the elderly. When we channel that, the way that God made us, then those people are actually under our authority as women. We have the responsibility to care for them, just like men have the responsibility to use their strength to care for us.
Man, I love the way she laid it out. I don't know about the oxytocin and all that stuff, those terms, but I kind of understand what she's getting at. It's pretty apparent. And she's communicating to those in the world who speak in that way, right? So, but what she's basically saying is that there's a design for men and a design for women, and it's the same exact thing, just different. And I think oftentimes what happens is there's this desire to want to have the same freedom or same authority or presence or confidence and appreciation that men have. You know, there's women that want that same thing, but women never not had that, right? Women also have that too. Now, reason being is because, just like she said, is that the man has his authority over the wife and the family, and God has authority over man, and woman has her authority over the children, right? So authority is there across the board. You know what I mean? Women don't just follow men, right? Men have to follow God, right? Men have to follow as well. Men aren't the only ones who lead. Women lead as well. They have to lead the children. Who's leading the children when the man is at work, right? The women have to do it. And they're actually doing it most of the time. They're spending more time with the children than the actual father is oftentimes. So they have to be in a leadership role to lead their children in the right direction. So what difference is there, right? What difference really is there? What do the men get to have that the women don't get to have? And that's really what feminism is rooted in, is equal rights. But they think that they want equal rights, but what they're really saying is they want love. They want to be appreciated like the men are appreciated, right? They want the glory that they think that the men get, right? The attention and the praise and the satisfaction. But what they're really saying is that I need love. I'm empty inside. I want to be loved. I want to be appreciated. But if you just find yourself, work on yourself, look within, then you'll discover that you have all the same exact power and authority and love that the man should be receiving as well, or is receiving. It's the same exact thing. And you'll actually find peace and happiness and all the things that you think you want. You'll find it in maybe even staying at home if you want a family. Am I making sense or not? Staying at home is not bad or something. You know what I mean? Staying at home is, I honestly don't know why women want to work. I don't even understand why they want to work. Working is not fun, right? It's not woohoo. I mean, work is just work. You do what you got to do. And you could enjoy your work. Yeah, that's fine. You can enjoy your work, stuff like that. Yeah. But it's not like something that you just have to have. You know what I mean? Now, some people aren't going to stay at home, meaning because maybe they don't have children, or some ladies want to work and maybe they find a little job that they enjoy doing and stuff like that. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, take the stigma off of staying at home, raising children. It's kind of a wild thing. One more, and then we done. Because the feminists had something to say about this. Oh, the feminists was going in. Some people, Lincoln Lewis said, some people need to pay their mortgage. You know what I realized about that too, about paying the mortgage thing, is that all of that is an excuse, right? Because I hear that talking point come from a bunch of people. It's like, well, we live in a different time, and things are expensive, and life is a little bit more different, and you got to adapt to the times. And when you say that and you believe that, you're compromising your value. You're compromising your value because you're not willing to do what it takes. And it's not a hard life to live. That's what I'm saying, is that, like, it's because people love stuff. It's because people love things. and they love abundance. And those are what bring them value. So they can't just live frugally or be patient or whatever the case is. If you really want kids to be raised properly, your family to be intact, love to be in the home, peace to be in your heart, then you have to do the things that are required, and not by force. Don't wake up tomorrow now and be like, we going for Jesus. We're going to do all the right things. No, all it is that he's asking is for you to turn your heart to him and desire what he desires, and then in the process you'll change, right? Baby steps. You know what I mean? But you got to admit that it's possible. You got to accept that it's possible, that your life can be all the things that you want, and you don't need all these like things, extravagant things. It can start off very small and everybody will still be happy. Everybody in the home still getting fed. Lights are still on. Jokes still happening. Everybody's still cracking jokes in the home. Nobody depressed. You know what I mean? And you could live in a little corner of an apartment, just like a little, and be all right. It's possible. Feminist expresses her doubt on whether the woman before feminism were even happy or ever happy. Here we go.
If women were happier pre-feminism, as you're saying, my question to you is, why do you think that is? Do you think that's because they were actually happy, or because they didn't have a choice but to be happy and present in their lives because they had no way out of their marriage, they had no agency or ability to choose what the path of their life would be because of the societal expectations, or because they had gotten their little lobotomy and they were like all meted out, like you said, like, prior to, because that was the only way for them to be able to stomach their lives?
Or maybe they were actually just genuinely happy.
Maybe they could have been, yeah. but was that the norm, or was that like
no, that was the norm.
96%
of women voted against suffrage. 96%. It was a fringe idea that was pushed onto
Which women though? Which women though? Which women though?
American women.
American
American women.
Or
American citizens.
American or
American women. No. American
I think
women. It's harmed black families the most. Actually, if you look back, black families were doing better than white families as far as their marriages were more intact post-slavery, right?
What happened?
Dad was home.
Dad was home.
Dad was home. It's fatherless homes. We have incentivized that. The same people who were the slave owners.
No.
That's just the truth. I don't know how you refute that. I don't know how you deny that. We hear, and how do you, the idea that it just makes sense to me that blacks, even back then, were better off. They were happier. We hear stories about it. We hear Jesse Lee Peterson talk. He comes from that and he talks about it, right? We hear other people who come from that and talk about it, that they were happier. And she's trying to say that, no, they weren't happy. They were just grateful for what they had at that moment. They didn't have rights. So the little bit that they had, they just found a way to be happy about it. And the other woman was like, no, maybe they were just genuinely happy, right? Not everything was about suffering. And where I think it changed, in all honesty, where I think it's changed is women lost their way. And obviously, women and men lost their way. But women lost their way and they stopped being satisfied, right? And they wanted, right? Then their ego awakened and they wanted more. They wanted things, they wanted stuff. But where men also were where I think it changed as well is that it became a point where in some households men didn't really have it. They weren't really living by example, but yet they still kept that same like patriarchal structure in the home. And when you force it, nothing good comes from it. So in some cases, maybe women got tired of doing this duty that they felt was just a duty, right? Just getting up and working and being told to shut up and that they better be making them food and be up in the kitchen or else, or right? Like they did their job, but they didn't understand why they were doing it, or there was no love in the home. So it was forced upon them in some situations, and they didn't want it anymore. They wanted to be free. They wanted to break free. And then when they broke free, they decided that this life was better for them because they got all the thrills and all that stuff from it. So I do think that in some cases that there is just, but what's happening is love is missing. Love is missing. So what it really comes down to is that love is missing. And it ain't about rules. It ain't about hierarchy. It ain't about the men's leading. That's not fair. Women want equal rights. It ain't about equal rights. It ain't about feminism. It ain't about none of that. The real issue is that love is missing. If love was involved in the equation, everybody would just naturally do what comes natural to them. Naturally. And they would discover their natural way of what comes natural to them. What comes natural to women is different than what comes natural to men. I don't care what anybody says, and it may sound crazy when I say it, but women are the weaker vessel to men. And it has to be that way, and there's purpose in it being that way. Because the children need the balance of the masculine and the feminine together. It ain't a less than thing, it's a order thing. And that's how it's designed for the children to work. So you can do whatever you want. You have the right to do whatever you want. The feminists got you the right. They won you the right. And I ain't against the right. I like the right. But you can't be mad, and you must take responsibility when your family is out of control. When you can't find peace in your home, when your children are out of control, they hate you, they shooting up the schools, they turning into these, and you can't blame nobody else, and you can't blame them either. And you can't be mad when you're on trial and you're going to jail too. So you can do what you want. And I want people to do what they want. I think that it's best people do exactly what they want. But do it with accountability. Or there's a seat, or there's a bed with your name on it. And I ain't gonna tell you where it's at. All right. Anyway, let me get to some super chats here. Oh, let me check on IG because I never show no love to Instagram really quick. They can't be weaker at everything, can they? Says the Euro. No, there's things that's a good point. There are things that ladies do that men can't do. I can't think of everything off the top of my head, but one thing ladies can do that men can't do is think about more than one thing at once and do more than one thing at once. They can cook, they can talk to you, they can be on the phone, they can do homework. They can all at one time. I ain't got that. I'll tell you that. And there's a bunch of things though. Anyway, let me go. Whoa, bro. William. What's the day for today? William. Oh, I got to that already. Harmony with the super chat from yesterday sends one of these. Hang loose. Right on, Harmony, back at you. Appreciate the super chat. Shout out. Harmony Grits. Zit. Now girls sound amazing. She's drawing the evil from inside that many families so young. Future JLP. Right on, Zit. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the super chat. And nice name. Cap and Cook says Joel got a duty. Oh, Lord have mercy. What the? He goes on to say, Joel, the moment you got a wife, you started to disagree with Jesse. This is why Jesse recommends we stay homosexual in order to understand his message. What? For one, that's not true. I've been having my own opinion for a long time now. I don't know where you guys been. Way long before marriage or anything was even in a conversation. So that ain't true. And I think people have been saying that. They're blaming it on marriage or something. But that ain't true. What the? And people are allowed to disagree. You know it's okay to disagree? Did you know it's okay to disagree with even people that are older than you? It is okay to do that. You know that, right? You know it's also okay to disagree with the pastor. I'm not saying be disrespectful. I'm saying it's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay to question things. I hope you guys know. I don't think everybody in chat knows that, though. I don't think they know that. Captain Cook says, stop disagreeing with now you just cracking jokes. Thank you, Captain Cook. I appreciate the super chats. Amazing stuff. Let me see here. Oh, let me go to buy me a coffee. Buy me a donut. The problem with equality, says Eric Harlan, men are better than women at everything. Oh. Women require a superior man. Listen, I ain't saying, I'm reading from Eric Harlan. Okay, don't get mad at me. Women require a superior man, yet want to be treated as an equal. That's gaslighting. Women want a man to love, protect, provide, and lead the family. This leaves women with no responsibilities while they raise children. Men are statistically better at raising children. Oh. We do their one job better than them. Ooh. I don't necessarily agree with that one. Men and women aren't equal. Women require a man to protect. This ensures he will sacrifice his safety to ensure her survival. Responsibility without authority is slavery. Men must have authority if they're responsible for the family's survival. Men and women aren't equal. Equal doesn't exist. The man must always have authority to ensure a stable household. yes, the man has authority over his family, but the women also have authority over their children. The women have authority as well. Women aren't just weak vessels. Man, you got to help me out here, Eric. We need to be speaking life and possibility and all those Christian words to the women, man. I be understanding your point, and you be on point, but I don't know. It's a little uppercut to the women sometimes. Well, a lot of time. Is they cool too. And both people, if they return, man and woman, if they return to God and overcome and work on themselves, God ain't gonna favor one over the other. Now, if they don't work on themselves, then he's gonna favor one over the other. But women can be great mothers, great wives, and raise great children and do a great job while the man is at work. It's possible. And I also don't believe that the man would do a greater job at raising a child than a woman. I don't believe that to be true. Men have what it takes to raise a child. Women have what it takes to raise a child. Now, they shouldn't do it single. They shouldn't do it single. And I guess statistics does show that men who are single dads do better than women who are single moms. But what is that based off of? Is that based off of, it ain't based off of no like religious standard. It's just based off of like worldly standard. And typically, of course, the man is going to be more logical. The woman is going to be more emotional. But in the proper sense, and I'm not even talking about perfect world. I'm not even saying perfect world, this is how it could be. I'm talking about in real world that women can raise decent children, not alone, nor men alone, but together. So women doing better, or single men raising children better than single women raising children is the same argument as white men doing better for the country than black men. Like, of course, if you look at it from a worldly perspective, that's just what we see in reality. Like, okay, the white men, they kind of have it more together than the black men. But that's a worldly standards, right? If we're talking like real men, real life, like from a religious perspective, then everybody doing the same. All right. Sometimes the corny stuff is still true. All right. Anyway, what time is it? I think I got like 2 minutes to. Let me get to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Joel? What's going on, my brother?
All is well, Rick. How are you?
Man, I'm fine. Good. Thank you for taking my call, man. Today, man, I think this is just my opinion. For what I see in America, we are made differently, but don't mean that we're superior than women and women are superior than us. but God made men to do certain things and women to do certain things.
Yeah.
But why is the feminist movement trying to make women compete with men?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing that's very unattractive. And I can go with black women. Most of them, why I think a lot of times why a lot of men say they don't like to date black women for because they're always in survival mode. You understand what I mean by that, Joel?
Yeah.
Always everything's about survival. Relax and enjoy the relationship.
Yeah. It's like
I'm so glad, Joel.
It's like anger. It's like anger, and because it's the anger, and for whatever reason, whether it be like brainwashing or like the way you've been treated or a trauma, whatever it may be, but the anger is in the way from people just being, normal and regular, the ladies.
Right. I think, that's what it is, Joel. They're angry, but they're trying to use survival to cover it instead of addressing the trauma.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the security or the false sense of security that going out and making your own money and not needing anybody brings, right? That false sense of security is enough to feel a little bit better about yourself or feel like you've escaped like your trauma or your issues that you had to deal with, or your suppressing or your oppression that you had when you were younger, or whatever the case may be. Like, it gives that false sense of security, so they'll die on the hill with it.
Wow, and it's so sad, man. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's like, and they think it's attractive. I mean, there's times you need to know how to survive. If you're out in the woods, you need to learn how to make a campfire. That's great for that. But always in survival mode, man, that gets old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets old. Oh, what do you think about on that? Before I forget, did that? The French president, was that a slap or was he playing? I couldn't see it. I'm looking at it, but I couldn't judge it because she was inside the plane. All I see in her hand was touch his face. I don't know if there was. I don't know. I call that puppy love, or I don't know. What you think?
Oh, it was a slap, and she too old to be having puppy love. I don't think she can. There ain't no more puppy left in that one.
I couldn't see it was a slap though, because you know how you playing with your wife or girlfriend. I mean, I couldn't see it. I mean,
it was like upset. Well, she's also like, I don't know. She's like many years older than him as well. So
that's another no.
Yeah,
no man should never marry no woman older than he is. Maybe I probably would say a year or two, and that's the most.
Right.
But 10 to 15 years?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, her biological clock is doing, and she got a lot of miles, man.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it's a different dynamic, but also, yeah, she I think she's like she used to be like his school teacher or something. So yeah, it was definitely a slap.
Lord.
It was definitely a slap or a shove or whatever you want to call it, but I seen it. I definitely seen it.
No, because from the angle I seen it, I just saw that a hand just came out and touched his face. I didn't see her rear back and smack him, so I couldn't really comment on that.
Hake says she's 72 and he's 47. So,
oh Lord,
yeah,
she got one foot in the coffin and the other foot on a banana peel, about to slip totally in the coffin.
Yeah, there's something going on there, but I definitely seen it. I thought it was kind of odd, but it was definitely some aggression there. It wasn't no fun or puppy stuff.
I didn't see it though. That's why I ain't coming. I said when I saw it from the news, all I saw was her hand coming out the plane door, and he turned around. He was trying to walk with his wife, but I couldn't tell that angle was it intentional. That's what made me ask y'all.
Yeah, no, it was definitely intentional, and I think he just tried to play it off. But it was interesting, Rick, and I'm out of time. I appreciate it, though.
Okay, Joel. Thanks for taking my call. Love you, brother, man. Y'all be good, man. I'll tune in tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, Rick. Appreciate it. All right, guys. I'm out of here. American Anchor Baby's coming in right now. Make sure you guys check out his show. Don't miss it. I'll be back here tomorrow on my last day of the week, and we're going to get into some stuff. Be ready for it. All right, y'all. I'll see you. Bye.